Hi, I'm Lisa Michaels. I'm the creator of conservativelisa.blogspot.com, and you can follow me on Twitter at Lisa, the number 4 OR1ST first. Lisa, I think it also says Conservative Lisa. So please follow me, and I want to update you on a plan. I have been studying election integrity since 2000, and I think I have a way in which Donald Trump can expose the fact that he won. I'm assuming in a landslide after this is all said and done. Help Donald prove after the election, if the election is stolen by Hillary, to prevent her from assuming office and proving the widespread election fraud that is going on, which is done within the system, within the machines, within the way they count the votes, subbing in extra ballots after the fact, or taking the ballots that are sent through the mail to a processing location and having them substituted in with new secrecy envelopes that contain ballots that are for the Democrats, that are not the ballot that you actually cast. Putting that back into your exterior envelope that has your signature on it so that it gets submitted. You think your ballot was counted. Well, it was counted all right, but it wasn't your vote. It wasn't your vote for Donald Trump in this case. So in order to provide Donald Trump with post-election evidence, we need to help him out. First of all, I'd like you to please take notes or go to conservativelisa.blogspot.com. You can find it there as well. Wear a red shirt of any kind. Do not wear any campaign shirts, anything supporting any one candidate. That's against the law. You're not allowed to do any electioneering, is what it's called, within a certain amount of yards from the polling place. And then when you get there, if you're standing in line and you see a lot of people wearing red shirts, take video and still pictures with your camera on your phone of them. And make sure, and before you get to the polling place, make sure you wear the red shirt, but make sure you bring that all-important cell phone that has video capabilities and still picture capabilities, obviously. Bring the cell phone, take pictures of people in line. Once you get to the machine where you're voting, I'd like you to turn your phone on video mode and videotape your finger touching Donald Trump on the screen, okay? And if you want to, you can videotape all the way through your voting process, but we definitely want to get Donald Trump's. And then at the end, you will see all the people that you voted for, and I'm sure it'll say Donald Trump. So I'd like you to take a still picture of that. And then when you leave the polling place, if you see one of the Trump volunteers doing exit polling, please make sure that you do let them know that you did vote for Donald Trump. And if you want to help them out even more, be nice to get your first initial, last name, and your zip code. And once the election is over, they've announced, and if they steal it, they're going to announce that Hillary won. I want you to send your video to the donaldjtrump.com. There's a place there where you can contact the candidate, and you can put it in the notes or give them your information and tell them that you did indeed vote for him. I'd like it, ideally, if Donald Trump would put a page on his website or a separate website. Roger Stone apparently is working on this to set up a website where people can go to it. Once they've voted, if they vote early or if they vote after the fact, put their first initial, their last name, and their zip code, and then having a capability if they did videotape their vote, if they could upload that to YouTube and then put a link to that video on the website. It might be too late for them to get this all figured out, but this would be very, very helpful. I have actually filed an election integrity lawsuit using information I gathered from a recount the 2 years prior to the election that I had the election integrity lawsuit. And when Donald Trump wants to go in there and say, I think there was fraud and I'm not going to concede the race, he needs to have proof. He needs to show that legitimate, live people above the age of 18, U.S. citizens, not felons, actually in the majority voted for him. And we can't do that if we just trust these corrupt systems. Because what I believe is happening in these machines, you can check it out on YouTube. There's numerous places that will show you how easy it is for them to hack these machines. This is not something that the election workers in your county elections have any idea is going on. They are honest as the day is long. The poll workers are honest as the day is long in most cases. I'm sure there's some bad apples, but in most cases they're not. This is done under their noses. This is done under the noses of great secretaries of state, like, for instance, Chris Kobach. I don't think he's aware of how easy it is to fix these machines in one of the most populous counties in Kansas, Johnson County. I believe very strongly that the primary election results were rigged in this way. I think they were testing it out system, and I'm very afraid that they might pull the trigger and make a clean sweep of all the Democrats, putting them into the positions so that they can further expand their fraud. So this is very, very important. Please help out. We cannot afford, our children cannot afford it. We cannot afford to have 4 more years of this corruption. We have had this corruption since 2004. They were fine-tuning it in 2004. They almost did it. There, if you want to, also on my page, I have a summary of what they discovered in Ohio after the 2004 election, the 4 groups that were caught committing election fraud, voter registration fraud, paying people to vote, that sort of thing, mining identities to try to register people that didn't exist, had moved out of the country, moved out of the state, dogs, cats, long dead relatives, underage children, cartoon characters, illegal aliens, all of them. That's who they voted for. The 4 groups, you might ask, that were discovered in 2004 after the investigation into election fraud in Ohio were ACT, which is Americans Coming Together, which is a George Soros group, NAACP, we all know who that is, SEIU, which is a public employee union group, and ACORN. And Project Veritas has been very, very good about exposing the corruption of ACORN. So we've got everything marshaled against us, but we are American people. We were a country founded for religious liberty because Christians were being persecuted in Europe. And I believe that the Lord's on our side. And I believe the Lord's led me to be investigating this. Actually, my family and friends would say I was obsessed with it for many, many years. People thinking I was kind of crazy about being so concerned about something that they didn't think there was a problem with. But now it's all blown open, wide open. I'm glad to be vindicated that I'm not a crazy person, and that there is systemic election fraud going on under our noses, and we will not stand for it anymore, and we are going to stand up, and we are going to say no more. Thank you, Donald Trump, and if there's anything I can do to help with the campaign, with my experience, with my lawsuits, the recounts that I've managed, 10 political campaigns, I am there for you. So thank you, and God bless America.